Let's talk about the guiding principles of new hire onboarding. Before I do, we just got to level set. Onboarding today is completely different than what it has been in previous years. It's now 100% virtual. It's impossible for us to fly our teams to headquarters to get trained and onboarded by product managers, by executives. That bootcamp experience is no longer an option. So now we got to be creative. So we have to deliver an amazing, rich onboarding experience in a 100% remote virtual way. That's the big change. And so when we think about strategic enablement and we think about how do we drive the outcomes that we want to drive, we need to be mindful about some guiding principles. And this is what I want to do right now, is I want to walk you through 5 principles to help you elevate your onboarding program so you can realize the outcomes that you want to realize, right? What are we trying to do? We want to get our teams ramped faster. How are we going to do it? We got to be thoughtful and mindful about our onboarding programs and plans. And so here we go. Guiding principle number 1, onboarding needs to be delivered by role. You could start onboarding as a cohort for an entire group of people and have different roles together, but when you get into the detail and when you start working on the activities and the mentoring and the coaching, it needs to be role-based. Quota-carrying salespeople need to be onboarded together. Sales development folks need to be onboarded together. Inside sales folks, they need to have their own onboarding. There can be shared programs and shared coaching and shared classes and shared learning, but the ultimate outcomes and the activities and the certifications, they need to be role-based. So onboarding by role, guiding principle number 1. Guiding principle number 2, we need to have an activity-based onboarding program. What does that mean? It means we need to look at the roles and we need to start looking for leading indicators. Remember we talked about we need to have an onboarding program that's going to deliver on the promise of reducing time to ramp, and we want to make that happen faster. If we start measuring onboarding as the amount of time it takes to hit quota, it's too late. So we need to look at the leading indicators and the activities that ultimately get us there, whether it's pipeline generation, whether it's number of calls they've made, whatever those leading indicators are that we can start measuring, we want to do that sooner than later, and we want them documented. So guiding principle number 1 is onboarding by role. Guiding principle number 2 is activity-based metrics that are mapped back to the role and to the motion and the sales processes that your teams are going through. Now, onboarding guiding principle number 3 is all about 30, 60, 90. Don't try and do everything in a week. Space it out. Map it out over a period of time. Don't train people on contracts and on the back of the funnel activity in their first week. What do I need to know in my first week? What do I need to know in my first 30 days? Let's document it. Let's make sure we've got the activities and the metrics clearly documented, and then let's build coaching exercises around them, and let's create onboarding programs by role with activity-based metrics and activity-based exercises that are sequenced and timed across a 30, 60, 90-day journey. This is all really important. All too often, we're doing one-size-fits-all approach to onboarding, and it's not role-based, and that's not the way to deliver on the outcomes, and it's not going to achieve the goals of reducing time to ramp and getting you that revenue you want faster and getting your teams productive. The 4th guiding principle here is all about knowledge sharing, mentoring, peer-to-peer. We highly encourage you to introduce concepts like call shadowing and mentorship inside your onboarding program. So that needs to be part of it. Otherwise, you're going to miss the opportunity for that peer-to-peer knowledge sharing. The final guiding principle I want to highlight for you today is all about top performer best practices. So you got to get them. You got to curate them. You got to find them, whether it's a territory plan, amazing emails, pitch decks, proposals, whatever it is that makes your top performers great. Get those assets, get those stories, and have them be part of your onboarding journey. That's it. Those are the 5 guiding principles for sales onboarding, guaranteed to boost productivity and reduce the time to ramp.